Okay, guys, it is that time of year that we turn the eye to the classic film Gremlins. Not the movie itself, but what the movie really represented, and that's Gremlin mythology, which is something real. Now, gremlins go by a lot of different names. I tend to refer to them as the Roaches of Civilizational collapse. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are the harbingers of uh-oh. Because if gremlins are showing up in your city or civilization, something is massively wrong. Now, we grew up learning a lot of misinformation about gremlins, or believing a lot of misinformation about gremlins, but they're right there in front of us the entire time. And most people think about gremlins, they think about these little cute creatures, these 3 rules, and this Christmas chaos. But this film is actually about a much larger sense of civilization's failure. It's disguised as a monster comedy. This is mythology that is just a warning parable. These aren't creatures in the normal sense. They didn't start in Hollywood. They have a very old mythology. Now, if you remember, the original Gremlin myth before Hollywood is back in World War II. And I think Mr. Fetterman actually mentions talking about it. So they stayed true to that. It was something that was mentioned by pilots. Aircraft that had, malfunctions for no explainable reasons, machines that got sabotaged from the inside. Gremlins were blamed for everything because they were doing it. These were mechanical trickster spirits. They're saboteurs of arrogance, your arrogance, believing that you can make stuff. And this is the backlash of having overconfidence in your machinery. Now, this is the important thing, that gremlins aren't a monster. These come from this state of technology outgrowing your own wisdom. This is the entire part. This is like the entire mythic part of it, right? So let's really get into it. These guys also represent a trickster spirit lineage that goes all over the world. They're part of this trickster class. You find it in West Africa with Anansi, type disruptor intelligence. You see it in Slavic cultures, in Celtic cultures it's Peku, in Japan it is Tutsumoku Gami, the tools that awaken and rebel, right? Just stuff that's tripping. So across cultures you have the tricksters, and we have a very specific profile on what these creatures are from their form, and every form matters. Okay, you initially have the Mogwai. That's the proto form of it, well documented, right? Then you have the trigger states, which include water, which makes duplication, and midnight feeding, which makes corruption. So this is an elemental stack, right? Water, electricity, darkness, sound, because it has harmony. You see how he moves and vibrates. Now, they behave as parasites on advanced technologies. So this is important to know. Gremlins exist only in cities, around grids, around media or industry, okay? Gremlins do not exist in forests. There are no forest gremlins. So gremlins only exist around these things. That's important to gremlin-like lore. There's also a caste system, right? The Mogwai are obviously the pure gremlin, right? Or the purest form of its innocence. Then you have your drone gremlins, your tinker gremlins, and you see those guys everywhere. And then you have your alphas, and that's the rare one, and that's your stripe class. So these aren't wild predators. These are system predators. They're here because of the system. If the system doesn't exist, they don't exist. And this is what's important that you're going to learn about gremlins. So the modern rewrite actually tweaks some things a little bit, right? They kind of update like the World War II mythology that Mr. Fetterman talks about, but they go from just sabotaging planes to sabotaging banks, media, right? Power grids, consumer culture. So the World War II reference is literally spoken into the film, and it's not by accident because we're linking these two mythologies. Now, what the Mogwai actually represents is a spiritual test object, right? The Mogwai is not necessarily a natural creature. It's an ancient seed being. It carries balance, right? This thing can only become corrupted if you do something wrong. It's pure. You see Gizmo purity, okay, right there. And you have to, but he is a instability variant, right? That's the whole thing. What you inject into him as the guardian or the keeper or the custodian, whatever you want to call it, you're here more to serve, right? The shop owner says the Mogwai is not meant to be owned. It is meant to test readiness. That's the key part. The Mogwai is testing the readiness of your civilization. Because if you fail this test with the Mogwai, that means you bad, right? That's what it's saying about your culture. The Mogwai is here to test you, okay? Now, the reason why it comes to Billy is because of his father. Again, they are attracted to industry. His father was an inventor. His father had just went to that large convention where he was around all that. So he was Pelter. He was literally trying to advance technology for convenience. This is exactly when Gremlins show up. This is exactly why they're here. He is that industrial conduit with technology, and he's that bridge between the ancient power structure and this modern chaos. So this is why. So the father is 100% complicit in this. And then Stripe emerges as this trickster warlord. And we can isolate him because Stripe is different than everybody else, right? Stripe is intelligent on a whole nother level. He's very strategic. He has natural leadership skills. And he's the one who right off the bat is like, I'm rebelling against all of it. I'm not having it. His domination is 100% his instinct. So this guy makes me think more of like Loki, Set, right? Those kind of guys where I'm not having it. And then when we get to the end of the film, the shopkeeper basically told us, yeah, you failed the test. That's why your city got mashed down. Like when they start showing up, it's Gremlins there, means you guys are in trouble. They're just a sign of what's to come. These are the first roaches. When you thought your house was clean, you see some roaches, you go, uh-oh. Because there's other stuff that's going to be coming along, right? So this is a scolding. He said it at the end of the movie. You are not ready. He was scolding your civilizational assessment. Gizmo had to be reclaimed. The warning is now withdrawn. This is where you take and you go and fix whatever was going on with you. And this is what the Gremlins mean. They are not random monsters, not in any way. They're what happens when society crosses a line where convenience replaces responsibility and systems start growing faster than wisdom. Like everything he was doing with the smokeless thing, all that stuff was nonsense. So the Mogwais are your warning. The Gremlins, that's your receipt, okay? And Alpha Gremlins, man, that is a collapse of given leadership. So they don't announce the fall of civilization, but they confirm that it's already rolling down that street already. It's already happening. Now you got your first warning sign. And by the way, you failed.